Hi, hello. I believe Jen is doing introductions, but we didn't discuss it beforehand. So
No, we
hi,
didn't.
I'm Eva from
What?
Sword and Key. Jen, go ahead
Uh,
and take it away.
yeah, okay. We're here for a Brindlewood Bay Take a Bow. It's going to be a special Brindlewood Bay inspired, adjacent, mechanical mystery taking place at Camp Warp and Weft. And I would love everyone to talk about like your character. The sort of theme of Brindlewood Bay is that we have a group of older women or people of any gender who are part of a book club and absolutely love these mystery books. And mysteries seem to happen to them. So maybe someone's gonna die. I don't know. Somewhere, Camp Warp and Weft. You will be attending what used to be called Murder Miss Con, and has been, you've found out, renamed Murder Con. And that is where we're going to start the story. But let's back up a minute, and I would love to hear your name, your character's name, your character's cozy activity, and your favorite thing about Amanda Delacourt, the protagonist of the mystery series that you all love. Who would like to start? Because
Oh no, I laughed out loud. I'll go first.
that means you have to go.
Oh no. Okay. Hi everyone. Wait, so we're doing us and then our character and then their cozy stuff and
You
then their
character
favorite part.
cozy Amanda. Yes.
Okay. So me, I'm a Bunz. Hey everybody, how you doing? I normally play games and also star in them sometimes when people ask me nicely. I'm playing Matilda. They are definitely everybody's grandma. They are affectionately known in their neighborhood as the candy lady. Mostly, not even because they sell candy after kids get off school, but mostly because they just give people candy. It's a thing. Their cozy activity that was crocheting, which comes in handy when little grandchildren and people in the neighborhood like to forget things. Like they're definitely the type of person that'll do yarn graffiti, where they'll just like leave scarves and stuff like tied around just in case, just in case. And also there's no more space in their house. Now, their favorite part about the Amanda Delacour series is a running theory that they have yet to share with the group, but they're planning on it for the road trip to the con. That they think that all of the different arcs in the book are actually all levels of Dante's Inferno. Because in book 1 through 10, we were dealing with Celestials, and then we got to 11 through 20, and that's when all the spiciness happened. So that's lust. And then they have different books to set up. They have a whole theory, but that their favorite thing is all of the subtext and subversive qualities of the series.
Yay. Who's next?
Hey, the audio's off for the stream. They can't hear us anymore.
Nope, it was just me.
It was just you?
I think I was muted in Streamlabs. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But we want
There's
to hear you.
So many
So please unmute.
buttons. All right, I have a complete chance to reinvent my character here and now. I am
Don't
playing.
you dare! Don't you dare!
Hi, I'm Eva, she, her. I am playing Gwen Ahearn, she, they. A retired news anchor who is enjoying the quiet life with her book club friends and her gardening, and also her crochet and her grandchild. And there could be more eventually, who knows. Her favorite part of the Amanda Delacourt books, the Gold Crown Mysteries, is the exotic locations, deserts, forests, cities, all sorts of wild and wacky locations that we have visited in so many books. And I think, am I missing a...
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. All right.
Who is next?
I can do
I mean,
next.
I guess we're kind of like doing a thing, so I'll like follow the like line.
Mhm.
Hi, my name's Evie, not to be confused with Ava. Also she, her. I am playing Rose. Her current last name is Scott. And her cozy activity is actually writing letters to everybody. She does handwritten, very nice lettering, personalized letters that she writes to her many, many family members and friends as well. And I think that the thing that she likes the most about the Delacour series, honestly, are all the people that Amanda keeps meeting. Rose likes the NPCs. Rose likes the background characters. Rose likes the like coffee shop person in book 3 that showed up like 4 times, because it was just very interesting each of those 4 times that they were interacting and giving Amanda a coffee. That's what Rose loves.
All right. Who is next?
It's either, are we doing like around or through the lines?
Well, you talk, so.
Then
No problem.
that puts it at me. Sorry, I didn't realize where you were putting it. I was like, everyone's order is different in Zoom. I'm Pablo. I'm he, him. I'm going to be playing Ladi, who's she or he pronouns. Ladi's cozy activity is organizing salsa night. And his favorite thing about the series is the stuff that's left like really ambiguous. For example, you know, at the end of this most recent series, did she end up choosing to be with the cryptozoologist or the big game hunter? At this point, Ladi thinks that the author left it purposely ambiguous so that everyone can have their own ending and also fight each other to the death, which is what happened in session 0.
It was very fun to watch. I kind of wish we could air it.
I mean, we recorded it.
We did.
We could make it like a because next week.
Well,
I'll
Things to
see if
talk
I
about
can
later.
edit it for stream and make it pretty for you
we'll
too.
see. Yeah. All right. Did everybody get a chance to go? I don't think Val.
I have.
And I don't think Ray.
It's Ray and then me.
Go
All right.
Ray.
I'll go. Hi, I'm Ray, she, her. I'm playing Hazel Briggs, also she, her. Hazel was a like full-time stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife her whole life until her husband Archie, who was a professor, died, and now she's taking this newfound freedom. Her husband's dead, her kids they have their own lives, they're adults now. She's taking this time to reinvent herself, and she is taking on this whole young at heart sort of mentality, wears a lot of tie-dye, lots of bright colors, big funky glasses. Therefore, her cozy activity is tie-dyeing. She will forcibly tie-dye anything that you will let her. And her favorite thing about the Amanda Delacourt series is theorizing where the secret sex scenes that she is convinced exist, where they like would go when she finds them, like what chapters they'll fit in between. That's her favorite part of this series.
Hello. Hi. My name is Rosy Raid, or Valdrianth, whatever y'all want to call me. I'm a she, they, it kind of person because I'm your resident cryptid. And I play Sylvie, who's a she, her. She's a 67-year-old retired paleo artist. So essentially, she is someone who sculpted dinosaur bones from skeletons to put into museums. Because you have to like not put up the real bones, you have to put up fakes. I don't know if y'all knew that. Some museums do, everyone's. And she goes back and forth between Brindlewood Bay and New Mexico because she's got family Her kid's in New Mexico. Her boyfriend of God knows how many years is in New Mexico. Her bar is in New Mexico. But sometimes it just gets so freaking hot down there, and you gotta go to Maine in the summer house. Her cozy activity is going for long drives in her 1969 Mustang Shelby GT and listening to Fleetwood Mac because she can't really use her hands for much anymore since she has arthritis from all of the sculpting that she's done in her life. It's just swollen knuckles everywhere. But yeah, she's kind of a weirdo. And there's a cat that just kind of pops up now and then. No one knows where it comes from.
Well, she knows where it comes from, right?
Yes, she does.
And your favorite thing about the Amanda Delacourt?
There's just so many of them. Like, that's her favorite thing about them, is that, like, she could... And the thing is that she likes pattern, so just having, like, something that's not novelty completely and familiar is really nice for her. So she enjoys that there's just so many, and she doesn't have to make hard decisions about them.
Can I share one thing that you said about your character in the session 0 that I just loved so much? I wasn't there for for people watching. I wasn't there for part of session 0. Yeah. No, you said, Sylvie said that she had read all the other 35 mysteries before reading the new one, like reread them. Yes. And I do that. I friggin' do that. So like I heard that and I went, oh my gosh.
And she ranked it at like 18 or something.
Yeah, yeah. I totally friggin' do that. All right, so I heard that we had like the most amazing like massive donation like ever, and I love whoever did that. You're wonderful. Like, oh my gosh. We didn't set like really high incentives, which we will do in the future, but I've decided on the fly what you get for that, or what the group is going to get for that, right? And just to explain one of the moves that you can do in this game, there's something called the Gold Crown Mysteries move. And in that move, once per session, any one of the players can go, hey, this reminds me of something that Amanda Delacourt did. And that will give you the ability to have a 12 plus on a single relevant roll. So basically it's like an auto crit, right? I'm gonna give this group 3 extra Gold Crown Mystery moves for the course of the series. For the course of the series, so like not just for this session. Yeah, I mean, you can use them this session, but then they're gone. But you get 3 extra, which, I mean, that's the most powerful move in the game, because like that was the most powerful donation, like, and statement of support.
We can have the campaign today if we want.
Okay, I'm about to tell you. Yeah, I could just tell you the killer and all of that fun stuff if you want. No?
Mystery solved.
Mystery solved. We're done. We're out of here. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, you all have that to go on. And that brings me back to, let me spend a second. I'm going to describe this magical place that you are heading to for MurderCon, which I think I'm going to pronounce that way like every friggin' time.
You have to now.
Get ready. Yeah. So we actually had a game in this place before, about 1.5 years ago. We're at a camp called Camp Warp and Weft. During the summer, this is a camp that children attend, just like a normal summer camp. But during the rest of the year, they rent out the camp for various things, including MermizCon, now MurderCon. And so it's the layout is very much like a children's camp, because it actually is a children's camp, though many of the places are renamed just for this con, just for the week, in order to sort of reflect the theme of the con. Which is mysteries. So for instance, there is a tower in the middle of the camp that the kids use for rock climbing and zip lining and stuff like that. And it's usually called the Lookout, but it's called Reichenbach Tower during this, it's a Sherlock thing, during this con. Things like that. The living quarters are named after where Miss Marple did her, lived. The lodge is, what did I say the lodge was renamed as? I had a blank. I'll look it up. The lodge has an also other really cool name that I will remember. By the way, everyone get ready for my memory to suck. So
Overlook Hotel.
Overlook Hotel. Well, okay. It's usually named something else. It's usually named after a famous mystery that Sherlock Holmes did. But yes, actually, when you drive up to this place, y'all will discover it has been renamed for this year, the Overlook Hotel. Describing this place, it's spring. The trees are still starting to bud. The forest behind the lodge, you can see deeper into it than you would during the summer. You are starting to hear like there's a lot of bird songs. The river, the Potomac, not the Potomac, the Potomac River, that flows past the camp. You can hear it rushing with extra water as snowfall from distant mountains melts and gathers around the camp. There are, in fact, like you see, if you were like scanning out or a camera was going through the camp, you'd see like a little duck walking around the bank of the Potomac with like little ducklings behind it. New life is bursting forth. Ironically, because we are here to examine the end of life, the violent, vile, untimely end of life. But for now, all is beautiful and the rebirth of spring. And I think some of you are carpooling together, some of your characters, and some of your characters are being driven by family. Let's see, who's driving together?
I think I would want to join the carpool.
You're gonna be in the carpool. Matilda's gonna be in the
probably
carpool.
me.
Yeah, all right.
I
So
mean, no. Someone can
Yeah.
ride with me, but
Yes.
Yeah, can I be
anybody-
riding with Sylvie?
Right. Like
I'd
you've
be
been
down for
blessed
that.
with the
Okay.
1969 Mustang ride.
yeah.
Matty and Ladi are arriving together. My wife just got home, so I'll be doing some negotiating about the fact that I'm now downstairs.
There
In
are
just a
dogs at the
moment.
camp.
There are dogs at the camp, yes,
Mhm.
and they're very loud and sometimes they bark. And Gwen, I know Rose, your granddaughter is driving you. Yes, and Gwen, are you in the carpool or on your own?
I think just based on what we had talked about, staying off campus, as it were, probably she's driving herself. She wanted to join the carpool, but just
On her own.
can't risk camp beds.
Yes. All right. So the beginning of the con is called Badge and Bunk, which is where you go, you pick up your badge, and you find where you're going to be staying. You get a chance to settle in. Let's go to Ladi and Matty. What are you talking about as you drive up to the camp? What's going on with the two of you as you anticipate the beginning of this con that you go to every year?
I can make something up, but I don't have any strong feelings here. Bunz, you're muted.
I was about to say, how long would you stand to hear the theory that they have?
Entirely.
Entirely.
Let's hear a little of the theory. I want to hear some of
Yeah.
this theory. Yeah.
They're like, you got to hear me out. You just got to hear me out. You're going to make a left. You're going to make a left. You're going to make, where are we going? Okay, well, look, so the first book, we're in limbo. Because why would it take you 10 books to get anywhere? Until little Mr. Hot to Trot came in with his nice big old elephant. You think an elephant gun is don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's a conversation for Hazel. So that's when lust comes in. Then you got gluttony, greed, anger, but we ended on heresy. And that's when they brought in the cryptozoologist. Why would they bring in somebody like that if not to bring in questions for everything? We still got violence, fraud, and treachery. Now, I don't know how they're gonna fit that in the next 3 books, but we should be having a lot more books to come. That's my point, lady. That's my point.
Does Ladi respond or just nod?
Bunz
Right?
is so good at this.
Yes, yes, right?
Yeah. So Jen, do you want us to give like a little bit of description of what we look like and stuff too?
Wonderful. Yes, definitely.
So Lady's also wearing like a floral button-down shirt and like a floral skirt that's a totally different color, like I am right now, because I decided that whatever I'm dressed as today was what my character was going to be dressed as.
Nice.
And I think that she's just like nodding really stoically and seriously. And like, if you didn't know her from like years and years and years of book club, maybe it would be hard to tell that she's putting a lot of effort into sounding like she's paying attention. And she's just like, I really appreciate that reading of the text. I really feel like that's a thoughtful perspective you're bringing to the table. I can't wait to hear what everyone else thinks about it.
And Matty, being a new member of the group, this is the first time you've really had a chance to lay out this theory for everybody. Yeah. What does Matty look like? I'm sorry, Matilda. May I call Matilda Matty? Is that polite?
Yeah, that's fine, baby. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. All right. What does Matty look like?
Maddie is I call this style crochet couture, because they are not going to try to change nothing about themselves to fit into anything, but they still want to look nice. Right now they're wearing a shawl that they made themselves. Them and their granddaughter have matching ones. It's like a big strawberry right now, so like the little hood is like the leaf, so she's wearing that and she's looking outside. And underneath of it, she's just wearing an all black dress. Her grandson said it would be funny if she showed up like she was going to a funeral. But then her granddaughter said, "Don't forget your strawberry shawl." And she couldn't say no to both of them. So she just has that on now. But that's what she has on. a nice black dress that stops just above her ankles, and then the strawberry crocheted shawl.
I love it so much.
Wonderful. And as you are describing your theory, and as Lady is politely responding with feigned interest, you're brought up short by a sign at the opening of Camp Warp and Weft. Actually, also one thing you might notice is there's a fair amount of more traffic than you're used to. This con is usually like a very small, like 100
Get
or so.
together.
Yeah, it's pretty intimate, but there's a lot of people here driving past you. There's even some honking. There's a line to get into the parking lot. And you pass a sign that is usually covered with a canvas. This is the Warp and Weft sign. It's usually covered with a canvas that says Mermiscon, right? And instead, it's covered with a canvas that appears to have been like aesthetically ripped by claws with dripping blood that says MurderCon. Not what you would have expected. It's very clear that you're in the right place, but the right place that's a little strange.
They just sort of like lean over, like anybody could hear them in this car. Matty leans over to Lady, is like, "See, I told you when they posted those full-length pictures, we was going to get some new blood."
They said that they were going to change just the name and that it was effectively going to be the same.
Well, technically it is.
It's overproduced. It's tacky. I don't know these new people who are here. I'm going to run into my students.
You might.
A fate worse than death.
You're the one that let them read it.
They're college-age adults. Like, I'm not responsible for what they read in the comfort of their own home.
You're right. You just, showed it to them. And they just, like, there is, like, it's like one of those water with, like, a crystal light in it. Like,
and as you're driving past the sign and Lady is opining in this way, you see, like, a smaller sign that says, "Brought to you by Concor." Concor is an organization, a corporation, in fact. Concor Corp. Concor Corp is interested in corpses. You pass a sign saying "Brought to you by Concor." Concor is a controversial corporation that has been buying up cons all over the country, and has in fact this time bought a con from the lovely couple who used to run it, Gloria and Glenn Hawthorne. And hence the change in name. And yes, corporate messages, letters sent to everyone who has registered in the past, explaining that there was only going to be superficial changes. But when you get there, huge crowd of people and very long line for badges. And as you get into line, I'm going to switch to Hazel and Sylvie in that 1969 Mustang. So, like, describe yourselves, but also describe the Mustang, please.
So the Mustang, it is a Shelby. So if y'all don't know, it's the cream of the crop. It's 8 cylinders, right? It is like this dark midnight blue color. She gets it refurbished and repainted about every 10 years because you gotta take care of him. And it has a white racing stripe, just like the 2 down the sides, and of course, like, you got the pony in the front, and it's a gorgeous, loud vehicle, because that's how it's supposed to be. Muscle cars aren't supposed to be quiet. They're not supposed to be 6 cylinders. 8.
As a former Mustang owner, I agree.
Yes. Same. But yeah, and that's the car, you know. It's not like souped out. It's just very, very classic silhouette for the car. But inside, it has been modified to suit the fact that we are, like, Sylvia's aging and she needs to sit more comfortably, because that's the other thing about muscle cars. They're not very comfortable to sit in. So she has one of those like cushions, not a hemorrhoid cushion, but just like a sciatica cushion in her car to make sure that that's all good. And she's like sit fairly far back in the car because Sylvie's tall, and she in her youth she was 6 feet tall. Of course, you always shrank when you get older because of osteoporosis and all of that. But like, so she shrunk to 5'10" and a half. So she's lost 1.5 inches. She is a natural redhead. So the thing is with natural redheads is that they don't actually go gray. They just kind of turn like this almost like coppery strawberry blonde. So her hair is the same bowl shag haircut she's had since 1979. Like, she just hasn't changed it. There might have been a stint in the 90s where she was like, maybe I will get a 90s haircut. And she hated it, so she went back to the same haircut that she's had since 1979. And yeah, she, as far as like dress, she believes in comfort. So she's just in a pair of black jeans and ankle boots and a white t-shirt and a flannel, and there's some Fleetwood Mac playing on her CD player. She has a CD player in there because she has had a CD player installed, not an aux cord. That's a little bit too much, but a CD player, yes. And she got that done like 15 years ago, in 2005 or whatever. But yeah, and she kind of like, I'm really glad that I pre-registered.
Right. Like you start to see like the line of cars and hear the honking and like absolutely know that the line for badges is going to be
always
pre-registered. Is going to be
yeah,
absolutely wild. Hazel, like, and before Hazel, you get a chance to talk. I just want, what are you talking about in the car?
Oh, Hazel is pumped. When you're driving up and seeing all these new people, Hazel's like saying, you know, I heard, so I read on a forum that it was gonna be bigger this year, and I think we're gonna be able to make lots of new friends. I'm just so excited. It's growing, it's getting bigger. I'm so excited.
Do you think that there will be any new handsome friends?
Oh, I hope so. There better be.
You know, I have a friend. His name's Kai. He's from home, and he is single. I could introduce you.
Oh, I would. Well, I'm not really looking for anything right now.
No. But it's you've never had excuse me. Have you never just had a convention boyfriend before?
I have not. I would love to try.
It's just listen. It's just you find our girlfriend, but you just find someone at the convention that you just, maybe the first night at the bar, you just click with them. You do this a lot at like academic conferences, things like that, but also the fan conferences. and they're just your boyfriend for the weekend.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
And she starts like muttering to herself like, convention boyfriend.
like we could find
Sounds-
you a convention boyfriend.
What does Hazel
let's do
look
that.
like while she's muttering about
Sure.
convention boyfriend?
Hazel is very eclectic and eccentric. She's got short, curly hair that's clearly gone white, but she's dyed it like bubblegum pink. She's got big matching. Oh,
Con dogs.
she's got big matching bubblegum pink, like cat eye glasses, kind of like what Eva's got going on, but like bright pink. She's wearing her tie-dyed t-shirt that has Murder Mavens on it that she made for everyone. She will be really disappointed if other people aren't gonna change. She's assuming everyone's gonna change when they get there. She came prepared, so she's wearing it, and she's currently sitting kind of cross-legged on her seat, trying to cover up an accidental paint stain that she might have gotten on Sylvie's passenger seat. She's she's being very awkward the way she's sitting.
She would have not let you tie-dyed inside the car.
Oh, it was not. This was something she might have in her bag that may or may not have spilled, and she's trying very hard to not let you see it. And yeah, that's
things.
Hazel.
One, you have to share what's on the back of the shirt if you remember.
Oh God, I wrote these shirts say Murder Mavens, which is our book club name, and then on the back I think it says we didn't kill them, but we know who did, or something like that. Yeah, that's our slogan.
That was the quote.
That was exactly the quote. I was telling Eva, I'm really glad I didn't download and watch Session 0 on the plane, because I would have been laughing so much that people would have been worried
Such a
about
good
me.
Session 0. So much.
You know what though? I'm gonna say, and let me make sure that I do this right, but I think you should make a roll for hiding this stain.
Oh God. Okay.
Yes, I think you should. I'm trying to find and remember on the spot what that roll is, but that's okay.
Sure.
We'll just make it a day move. Let's make it a day move, and you can make it a day move, of course, with presence.
Okay. So I rolled 2d6. Yeah.
You know, 2d6, and then there's a variety of different outcomes that could happen depending on how high you roll.
All right. I rolled an 8, and then I have +1 to presence, so that's a 9.
Awesome. Okay. So your actions, this is 7 to 9, is the keeper will tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable.
Okay.
And you can choose to back down or go through with it. It's going to leave you vulnerable because you're going to seem distracted, like really distracted by the con boyfriend thing, to the point of kind of seeming a little bit maybe obsessive, like a little bit like, ooh, do we need to hook you back in? Do we need to watch how much you drink? Like that's kind of where how you're going to seem as you try to cover up the stain.
Just park the car and just sort of look suspiciously at you.
Yeah.
Have you been with anyone since
Not in real life.
Ray, do you want to accept that as a
that's fine.
Or do you want to fail? Okay.
Yeah,
and if you don't like that particular thing that you're going to, and I'm going to give you a condition for it. If you don't like that particular condition, it can just be that you seem distracted by something.
Sure,
something
that's
seems
fine.
Suspicious about you. Do you want the general one, or do you want the more specific? You seem kind of lonely and kind of
no. I like the specific one you came with. I like that.
Okay. I'm gonna say thirsty. That's the right term. I'm gonna say thirsty is your condition right now. Okay.
Thirsty.
Or seems thirsty. Seems thirsty.
And so what's gonna happen? You see Sylvie reach over, and it might freak you out a little bit because it just might be that she's about to point the stain out that you've been hiding, but she really hasn't noticed yet. But she's reaching for her glove department, and she hits it to open, and there's a little first aid kit in there, and she pulls it out, she opens it, and she hands you a travel size bottle of KY. It's just in case.
Thank you. This will be.
I'm not giving you the CBD infused one. That one's for me.
That's fine.
And as that exchange happens, and you see the pre-reg line, which is going a lot faster, I'm going to go back to Rose and Sierra. Sierra is Rose's granddaughter. Oh, one other thing I will say, as you park is that there's just a little cattail that waves in the wind out of the window for just a second and then disappears from Sylvie's car. Rose, Sierra is with you and driving you. And you know, what is Rose talking about on the way?
Yeah, so Rose is just sort of like chatting with Sierra to catch up on all the stuff because Sierra has a busy life right now. And like Rose is so Rose looks like, you know, she's got what I'm calling farm fresh look. And she was working this morning before she got picked up to take this road trip. So like she's still got her overalls on because she's like, I'm gonna have to unload this truck. I have half a harvest's worth of stuff still left that I have left over that's in the back here that I'm taking to this to unload. So I'm gonna keep my overalls on. And so her hair is done up in like she's got it like up in a twisted bun tied up with a bandana to keep like all the sun and the sweat and everything handled. But yeah, she's just kind of been chatting with her granddaughter about like her new husband. Well, 4 years, I guess, isn't that new, but they have a baby now. And she keeps kind of coming back though to like, but what is it exactly that this thesis thing is?
Oh, it's about the interaction between insects and plants, and specifically like the disappearance of or mass disappearance of bees around the country and the impact of that on flowering plants. It's very topical. It's very important, you know. Like, but I you know, it's been a few years that I've been working on it, and I'm just, you know, I don't I don't want to go ABD. That you know, little Beatrice is taking a lot of my attention.
Yeah, I understand that, but why are you writing a thesis? I already read a news article on it.
Yeah, but if we don't understand why it's happening, we can't fix it. I'm not. Grandma, it's not actually. What was there was a special name that she called you. You wrote
Gamama, because when like Sierra, who is Sophia, who is Sierra's mom, firstborn, her firstborn, so Sierra, called her Gamama because she couldn't like say grandma, so it was Gamama, and that's just what all the kids have to call her now.
I love it. Gamama, it's more than a news article, you know, like a dissertation it's for scientists, and it's very long, and we've been over this, and you know what, it's okay. It's kind of like a news article, but like a more important one.
Okay, well, if you need samples or something, you know you're welcome to come to the farm. You can get anything that you need with like the bugs. I'll let you know which ones are showing up. You know, it's the springtime, so a lot of the flowering ones that you were talking about, the flowers and stuff, that'll be happening. So you just let me know if I need to set traps or something.
Oh, I really appreciate that. I've got my data, but you know, Mama, I just really need to tell you, like, I wouldn't be doing this without you, right? That's what inspired me. To botany is your gardening, and I just wanted to let you know there's like a little like tear that she's like wiping away from her eye, like, and she's not usually very emotionally expressive, but like she's got a baby and she's friggin' tired, so like stuff comes out, and as she's sort of wiping that tear, you also pass the ButterCon sign. And there's honking going. Does Rose notice?
I think that Rose has been like eyeballing the traffic because we're not there yet, and she only has so much dry ice keeping things cold in the back of this truck. And so she's been doing a little bit of like mental time map, and so she looks at this line, and she sees the sign, and she like pulls out a map, and she's like, Sierra dear, we did take the right at this turn.
Yes, it's the same place. I took you here a couple years ago. It's the same. It's right. Yes. See the sign.
The sign is different.
Oh, it is. I hadn't noticed.
Usually not this crowded.
Oh, it's good. Yay. I don't.
That's okay. You know what?
Right?
Here, pull off onto the shoulder a bit, and we're just gonna go around them.
Oh, we're gonna walk the whole. We're gonna.
No,
do that.
just drive over. It's fine. The truck can handle it. Just pull over, and we're just gonna go around them.
We're not gonna get a ticket or anything.
Nah, I have to get all this back to Linda.
Okay, all right. And she like very nervously pulls the truck over and drives around the traffic. And my wife wants to talk to me. So this is the moment when you get to the line and you all see one another and gather together for the first time at the con.
Oh, see, no, I knew it. That's all them colors. Okay, they're over here. They're over here. Like Matilda's trying to get through the crowd.
This is why you
headed
wear
towards
your
Hazel.
t-shirts so we can find each other. This is
But you have all the t-shirts. We can't wear them if you've already got them.
Oh, did I not give them out? Oh, I'm so sorry. And
You said you would give them out, and we said we didn't want to wear them because it was going to be a long dry, and I sweat a lot. So I said I'd change when I get here, and then everybody said they change. Like they kind of start as you're handing out the shirts.
Hazel's handing out the shirts, yeah.
I
Sweating
love
in
that
a
anything Matty
fresh-
says just spirals out into
It's so
itself.
perfect. It's so perfect.
Yeah, I can imagine sweating in a freshly tie-dye t-shirt before it was pre-washed would be unpleasant.
It's really not that bad, but you get a
Maybe
little
I
messy.
should
It's
just
not a big deal, but whatever.
take it back to the car and, do a little... Let it sit for a little bit.
So Sylvie does this thing where she puts the shirt on over her shirt but like doesn't put her arms through, and you just see her shifting underneath it, and then she just pulls her old shirt underneath.
You just pull a locker room? Did you just pull
Yes,
a
right up
classic.
in the, and then she puts her flannel over the shirt, and
Oh,
she's
perfect.
like, "Isn't it great?" Cool.
Yes.
That's my band bus. Like.
Oh, yeah.
that I did. Yeah.
Very impressive. Very, very
Rose
impressive.
pulls up in the truck and hops
Oh.
out.
Sylvie's
And
like,
when-
or Sierra's hyperventilating when you do that.
Yeah. And Rose hops out and she comes over and you guys are like handing out shirts and she takes one and she looks at it and she goes, this is gonna get dirty. And so she hands it to Sierra through the window. And she's like, I have to get my badge. I have to get this to the cook. I have to go. And she pushes past everybody.
Okay. Is this a
And by
normal
everybody, I
occurrence?
mean everyone in line.
Yeah, maybe,
Or-
no.
Yeah, no. For
No,
sure, for
and
sure.
this is one
For
of
sure,
the
for sure.
times when it becomes like really clear how many young people are in this line. Like, there's like usually like a range of ages for this con, but it like skews like middle-aged and older. Certainly like the Gold Court Mysteries are kind of the feature usually of the con, and Robin Masterson is like usually the key speaker. So you have like, it's an old series with a lot of older people, but there's a lot of kids, like a lot of like maybe teen, early 20s. I think Pablo, like you had a joke about how I'm like I call myself the queer elder. So like as a queer elder, I'm going to call early 20 people kids.
Yeah.
So you're pushing
for
your
sure.
way through them, and like, they're kind of letting you, like there's a lot of like looks, but then once they see you, they're like, they don't want to curse out an old lady. So you get your way up to the front, where a very tired looking pair of young people, maybe later 20s, in Concours t-shirts, Concours staff t-shirts, are passing out badges. Can we help you?
Yes, here. And I just like, I've done this so many years. So I have my ID, I have like my card, whatever, money, things. Like I just slide everything across the little like table thing to them,
Right.
because I know how this goes. Question, did everybody else follow me?
Hazel probably liked the initiative and probably followed you, yeah.
I like Matilda went over to your granddaughter and like gave her a lozenge and just like, calm down, sweetie pie.
There was a lot, and I don't usually drive on the
I know, but look, this is one of my special ones for my glaucoma, so you got to be careful when you take it.
Is that going
Bunz.
to make me not be able to drive? Am I going to be okay?
Bunz, I love you so much.
And I'm just at that moment, like she means it's full of marijuana.
I got that, and you know what?
That's
Right.
what's in.
I'm gonna stay for the afternoon. You know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna stay for the afternoon. Yeah, here, please. Thank you.
Gwen was in the middle of, I think, debating going back to the car with the tie-dye shirt, and she's pressed. She's got the jacket, the suit jacket, and the slacks, and she's torn between following Rose and kind of waves to, is it Sierra in the truck?
Yes.
Yeah. Because maybe they've seen each other before, and like she wants to do a greeting. And there's just so many children. Why are there so many children? And seeing Sylvie put the shirt on, she's just gonna sigh. And she'll put it on over her, like she'll take her jacket off as she wanders behind Hazel to follow Rose, and she'll put the tie-dye on and put her suit jacket back on and start to rifle through her purse for her ID and whatnot.
And Hazel whispers back as that we pass a couple of like 20-somethings in like tie-dye adjacent attire, and Hazel whispers, "See, now we fit in better. Aren't you glad I brought it? You're welcome."
I was very concerned. Yes, this is doing, great for my mental health. I feel much better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Lady also tags along with the squad that's following Rose.
Yes. And the two people at the front, one has a tag that says Brandon, and the other has a tag that says Jenny. And they're okay. And they like go through a file for your names, and then try to take out an iPad, and then the kind of curse at the iPad that doesn't seem to be like getting to the right place for them to use it. So set it aside and like bring out a paper document and like slowly go through trying to find your name. It's like a long list of people, and eventually check it out and give you like a tote bag, and it's black tote bag with the same like MurderCon like symbol on the front. It's a little bit like almost creepy. Like there's a lot of blood. Like this is like a Hot Topics kind of bag. That you would get like not most of your style. At Hazel.
Yeah, Rose takes it with like fingertips, like, oh. Okay.
And they also hand you your badge. They hand you your badge. And who is buddies? Someone's buddies with Nico Washington. I think that's
It's me.
Yes. Okay. The publishing house that Nico Watson, your friend, works for is Downing Street Publishers, and it has Downing Street Publishers, like it has their like it's like a little written around like, and it's sort of like as a sponsor of the con, which is kind of neat.
Like on the lanyard?
Yeah, like on the lanyard. Yes, thank you. That's the word for it. On the lanyard, you see like Downing Street Publishers. And so you're getting the lanyard passed out, and there's just like a bunch of different colors. So depending on whether you pre-registered and whether you were a VIP registrant, if you paid like extra money for extra access, there's different colors that you're getting, and y'all can decide what colors they are if you care. They match your outfit, whatever.
I mean, I think we probably went like top tier, right?
Top tier.
Yeah. Like probably everyone put in for the group. Like, cause you know those deals will be like the more people sign up. We did a Groupon. I got an app.
Yes.
Awesome.
Like I definitely got VIP passes. I do not want to like not sit in the front. I have to sit in the front.
We can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. VIP, don't wait in lines. That's why Rose walked up like this, because she VIP, don't wait in lines.
You all have blue, except for Matilda. And Matilda, when you get your badge, Brandon's like, I'm so sorry, but I think we just ran out of the blue one. So like, here you go. I'm sorry about that. But it says VIP on your thing. So like you're a VIP registrant. And then waves you along. And there is like a group of tables out, and you see Susie Bianchi, the cook of the camp, who is usually hired to do the con work as well, putting out like hors d'oeuvres And like they're not what you usually have. In fact, hors d'oeuvres is a fancy word for it. Now it's like packages of Takis and like peanut M&Ms and like just the kind of like snack stuff that maybe some of you love, but certainly is not what you associate with Mermis. And talk amongst yourselves, because wife wants to talk to me.
I do like peanut M&Ms though.
I was just thinking, I like the peanut M&Ms.
But
Not everyone
everything
does,
else, so much has changed.
Do you not like Takis?
I don't know what that is.
Thank
I don't know
you.
what a Taki is.
They're basically spicy Cheetos.
Is it the plural of taco
it is.
in
No.
Italian?
It is what
I do
spicy
like
Cheetos
tacos.
wants to be, but they are a Mexican delicacy, and we get that in New Mexico because we were once Mexico, and there are many people from Mexico that live in New Mexico. So we do get these Takis, and they're little rolled they're called Takis because it's short for taquitos, because they're little rolls.
do
So
like
they're
taquitos
tacos.
too.
Yeah.
I would
And
like for
they're-
it to be known we are all doing this still at that place, because Matilda's decided because he waved at her, she has to stand here until she dies.
Yeah. But yes, and they are quite spicy. However, they go excellent with a lime margarita.
Oh, I can't do the spice anymore. You know, I used to love the spice. Now it doesn't love me
anymore.
so much.
Yeah,
If you do, what was it again? You'll get past me. I gotta remember.
Okay.
Are we just standing in a group blocking the way?
Yes.
Yes,
I can't believe they didn't have
we
a
are.
blue bag
You
for
might-
you, Maddie. That's ridiculous. Don't
If you
they?
guys are continuing to
Land-
follow
it's the
Rose, she
lanyard
is
that's
actually
purple.
going to lead you down the length of the hors d'oeuvres, because she is taking one and putting him in the bags while you guys talk about Takis
I'm
and everything
I'm
else. She's
following.
just taking one
Okay.
and putting them in the
I'm
bag because
talking
Sierra
and
needs
walking.
food. She was
Yeah.
upset about driving, and so this is how Rose will make her feel better.
And
Okay.
after that glaucoma gummy, she's really gonna want those snacks.
Mhm.
And actually, Matty, what you notice is like there's a sea of like blue and red lanyards. But your purple one, like you actually have like a couple staff people like give you like some special like, we have tea with honey for you for presenters. We're gonna get you tea with honey. So they go back and like get you like special treats and like special drinks and say there's a green room over here. We've converted downstairs. We've converted the
thank
rec room
you.
into yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. If you just take,
Matt-
we're gonna need a few more. Can I just have a plate of? Just thank you, sweetie pie. They just like take a plate of orange juice. They're like, you can take us back there, y'all. We go over here, y'all.
No, I have to drop my stuff off at the kitchen. I'll see you guys later.
Oh, okay. Maddie, are you presenting about how this series is actually based on Dante's Inferno? Is that what's happening?
I can.
I'm sorry, it's based on a what now?
Think about it. And they're like gonna start muttering the theory to the group as they're being led to this VIP.
Sound. Quite sound.
Hazel will probably interrupt Maddie as she's talking about her series being like before she gets on attention, like we should go to the green room. Can I go with her? I'm with her. Is that can I go to the green room too?
And this is Susie Bianchi, who is like kind of the like, think about like a school cook, but like nicer, but like just as harried and tired, and is always like that. Is like, hun, I don't care what you do. I don't
care what you do.
I don't care. Just you go.
Okay,
You go if you want to go.
We should go check it out. There could be some of the I heard there are some very attractive presenters, and we could go talk to them before.
As long as
everyone
Rose
else
knows
gets to
where
them.
we went, I don't mind.
Okay,
Rose said
we're-
she would catch up with us later, but didn't. I think if we send her a WhatsApp message, she'll see it by the time she finds out that she doesn't know where we are.
Okay, and then they like that's when they dig and get their glasses out, and they're like, "All right, so that's the WhatsApp."
Maddie, you can make your font bigger. You know that, right?
Did we decide on the WhatsApp? I thought we were doing emails because you don't lose the emails if something goes down.
I thought we were doing Facebook Messenger.
We have so many group chats.
I can't find that app anymore. I had it on my front screen and now it's gone, and I think it's in a folder.
Nobody does
iPhones.
email
This
anymore.
wouldn't
It's
be a
all on
problem.
Facebook. Where have you been? That's where everything is these days.
Okay.
I thought we all already had WhatsApp. That's why.
Well, we had it, but I thought we switched for security reasons and whatnot. I don't know. I
think
hear
we
these things on the
made
TV.
a decision.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
we're so
I don't-
good at making decisions.
Well, the problem is
I
we're a
do
little bit
have
too good.
WhatsApp on my phone because I have to use it to keep in touch with the employees at the bar. So if we are using WhatsApp, then I suppose I can.
Well, I already started typing the message on WhatsApp, so I guess that's what we're doing.
Like, I think there's a couple of
Are you
like
doing, like, the one
notification
finger?
sounds. There's a couple of notification sounds because some of you have not like turned off the sound.
Oh, absolutely.
It's loud.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I do
Evie?
want to point out, just really quick, this is Rose. She technically has a cell phone.
Oh,
It
no.
does
But
not
if you
carry.
actually want to reach her, she is with Sierra, and Sierra said she was staying for the afternoon. If any of you have Sierra's number, that's the way.
Yes,
Noted.
very good.
Poor Sierra gets added to the group chat.
Matty has typed in a 3-paragraph essay before we realize that Rose isn't on WhatsApp because she doesn't have a smartphone.
I let him know where we were, what happened, what was going on, part of my theory, so she was caught up. And then I hit send because I hit the character limit.
There's a
That's
character.
off
Are you one of
mid-sentence.
is Maddie one of those people who doesn't use punctuation? Like hasn't quite learned like is
Or
They
you wanna
type-
know what's
they-
by all of it?
They type how they talk. So it's
Okay.
like the grammar is to the how they speak.
Got
So
it.
it'll be like,
Yeah.
now I don't know. So
They
it
do
actually
it.
says, now I don't know where you at, pretty baby, but we are over here. Like it says that
That's
whole
good. That's
thing.
good.
Amazing.
I have
Which
good
is
news.
hilarious because I use perfect grammar and like punctuation. Like that's what Sylvia does. Like refuses to not be like grammatically
Punctual.
correct.
If you
Excessive emoji users in the group. Who are the excessive emoji users?
oh
Not
Hazel will
excessively,
use emojis
but I
and
will
she'll
use them.
try to use like acronyms, but she doesn't really know
Yeah.
what they mean. She'll use anything that can be shortened to like a snappy little acronym, she will do it. It's a 50-50 on
With
if you
no
know what she's talking
context.
about. Yeah.
LOL is absolutely lots of love.
Oh, lots of love,
Lots
absolutely.
of love.
And yes.
Okay.
Gwen
Okay,
is
this is
absolutely dictating her email to Rose, like voice to text for sure.
Here's the real question though. Who's the minion granny here?
Not it.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's just I don't know what it is, but old people got this thing about sharing minions. So minions from Despicable Me. Like,
Yes. Well, it's probably not Rose because that definitely is not Rose's like
So Rose doesn't.
area. Yeah. So like,
Maybe
I want to
maybe
say
it's my
before.
dirty- Maybe it's my
We're gonna
dirty
do-
secret is I love minion memes.
Yeah, there you go,
Love
there you go.
that.
My
Wow.
Facebook page is just full of these
Minion
funny little
memes.
things I like that I don't think anyone else can see when I repost them.
We all see them.
Wonderful.
I
Well,
have
you
them-
Yeah,
all
no,
are-
Rose
Add
is
that
the
to my
one that you
character
like
sheet.
don't have on Messenger very often. She technically has a cell phone, but then when she does, she like replies to everybody's messages for the past week that she's missed and like creates letters to each person. And so like there's just a sudden long wall of text spam that happens every week
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah,
Love that.
So while
absolutely.
the rest of
Amazing.
you are moving down to the green room, Rose, Susie does approach you. It's like, oh, hon, I did reserve some space for you in the kitchen. Is that what's all of this? Do you need help bringing stuff in, hun?
Yes, I'm about out of dry ice. I need to get these things in before they thaw.
Oh no, okay, we'll do it. I had to work so hard to reserve space for you this year because they this new company and they almost fired me.
What?
But they didn't. Well, because they want to bring in a catering company, and I had to like convince them that I could do it. But they brought in a
No.
lot of extra a lot of extra foods. It's just taking up a lot of space in the kitchen. But I managed to get you some space.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Sweetie, do I need to talk to somebody for you?
You can try, but I think they're pretty much like set in their ways. They seem they
If
gotta
you
they
need
gotta
me to
like.
talk to
There was
somebody,
a
you just
corporate
give-
manual that I had to read.
What?
Yeah. They have a whole manual of rules and like what people can eat when, and like I don't know if they said it's something related to allergies or something like that. I don't know, but like, oh, they're the worst. They're the worst.
You see this?
Oh yeah, I'll give you the manual, hon. Like, let's come into the kitchen. I'll get your space ready. And Linda's been asking around about you. So
Yeah, we're here about an hour and a half later than I expected. There's so much traffic.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Now I kind of understand why they needed extra space, because of all the people. But it's just it's a lot of
That makes sense.
Yeah, no. So I'll show you, and maybe we'll get you some space, and maybe Linda will stop by for you.
Okay, I'm gonna have Sierra bring the truck around.
And like at this point, like Sierra is still like hyperventilating, but like more slowly. And like if you send a message to bring the truck around, she's sort of like, not right now.
No, I walk over.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like I do the walk over. She's not that far because she did park in the normal parking place. I made her drive up to the line, and I come up to the window and I'm like, all right, Sierra, sweetie. Here, and I hand her the bag full of just like snack foods. I'm like, these are all the hors d'oeuvres that they're serving. Now you seem like you might need a little bit of blood sugar, so that's for you.
Very hungry all of a sudden, yeah. So I will,
great.
Okay.
And if you can just bring the truck around, we're good. We're set. We're gonna go take everything into the kitchen, and I'll also like whip you up a little snack too.
Oh, where am I taking the truck?
Around to the kitchen.
Around
like
the kitchen.
before.
Okay. Where's it behind the? Okay,
behind the right over there. Okay. Do you need me?
Do
you need me to drive?
Maybe because if you drive the truck, you drive the truck and I'm gonna eat because I'm really hungry all of a sudden.
Okay, you know what? That actually sounds real good. Okay, hang on.
Sierra.
Or no, sorry. What was her name? Sylvie? No, what was her name? Sylvie. Sylvie, I'll meet you there.
Susie is the cook. Yeah.
Susie.
Yeah. So Susie comes in.
I'll meet you there.
I got you, hon. I got you. I'll see you there in a couple minutes. So you're able to go around and unload your stuff. And as you're doing this, the rest of you who come down to the green room, some of you might recognize this location. This is what used to be, or during the summer, is the rec room. It has, like a foosball table. That's what it's called, right? With the things where you flip them and they kick. Yeah, there's like a foosball table. There's like a bookshelf with a bunch of like really old books that have faded and nobody cares about anymore. There's a glass case that has a snake in it that's labeled. It's a particular species of snake. And then there's on the wall, there's this wooden carving of a mermaid with various tattoos carved into it. And that's where there are tables set up, the foosball table sort of pushed to the side, and there's tables set up with that tea, and there's honey to put into the tea, and there's like cheese and crackers and just like more of the stuff that you would have been used to for everybody in the con. But now a lot of people are milling about, and in fact Nico's in there milling about as one of the sponsors. You see Kai is there going ahead and getting hors d'oeuvres for himself. Looking at my stuff. That's because I'm looking at the wrong page of my list of a billion VIPs. Gloria and Blynn Hawthorne are there, the previous owners. And Melissa Corbin, Sylvie, your former student, is there as well. And Sylvie, there's some people that you know in here, because also Julia McLuey is here. There's a lot of other people, but there's people who you maybe recognize through sort of the Murder Mystery Network, who have written books and are presenting on the books, who you have gone to their panels before, and they're milling about. And these are like, Robin's not here, but these are like, if Robin's like the typical star of the program, like it's everyone else who would be presenting or part of the program who are milling about.
I would like to beeline towards Kai because friend. Like, and he sees me because this shirt is bright.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, it is. That's the point.
Yes.
He's sitting there. He's struggling to get some cheese and crackers and like dried fruit to like balance on each other so he can take a bite out of it. You know, those of you who get like charcuterie boards that like it's a little awkward. So he's like struggling to do that, but he has like a lot of like he's picked up some of the nice stuff. And he's hi, so just a nice shirt.
Thank you. I had a friend that made it for me from Maine. I should introduce you.
I would love to meet your friend. What are you doing in the green room? Are you
What?
presenting? Are you presenting?
They just put me here. I just I'm here because no one stopped me. Are you presenting?
I'm talking about representing Indigenous people in your writing in a appropriate way, and just sort of in general, you know, how to be thoughtful and sensitive with talking about marginalized people in writing. They almost canceled me. Almost canceled me, but then they didn't at the last minute. Like they sent me an email saying that I wasn't gonna
Listen.
bumped.
As much as I support calling people colonizers, you can't just do that anymore because you will get canceled. Even though I believe you have every right to do it.
I think they thought maybe I wasn't going to be the most marketable
True.
of the presenters. I mean, if you look around, like it's a lot of different folks, and there's like there's a lot more podcasts. This is Jen speaking. There's a lot more podcast people. There's a lot of true crime podcasters that you may or may not know, depending on like what you follow. But like if you were going to say the proportion of like podcasters to authors now, it's like 75% to 25%, whereas maybe they had one podcaster before.
Yeah,
they've changed things a lot. It's
I'm gonna like sort of gently grab him by the elbow and just
start walking with them.
Start walking with them directly towards Hazel.
All right, and oh hi, you've got to be the source of the t-shirts. You're the source of the t-shirts, right?
And she blushes. That is like the biggest compliment she could possibly receive, being known as the source of the tie-dye and the source of the shirts.
And for the record, Hazel, this man.
Yeah. Who is this man?
This man.
Who is this man?
I mean, I'm bound regardless, but who is this man?
Yeah.
We're about
Val,
the
why
same
don't you
height.
describe Kai? Yeah.
Yeah, he is he's a Navajo man, so he has like that very, very straight, sleek, and he is in his 60s, so it's like white hair now. And he's dressed in like sort of like Western garb, and he has one of those what are the ties?
Bolo ties?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And like snakeskin cowboy boots. Sort of like this is him dressing up. Sort of thing, but like
boy, does
white
he stand
clothes,
out, like
blue jeans. Yeah. I was like, Kai, this is Hazel. Hazel, this is Kai. She makes t-shirts.
It's great to meet you. I appreciate your work.
Well, thank you so much. I can make you one. Would you like one?
There's like a side eye glance at Sylvie, and he looks back at Hazel, goes, sure.
Okay, what size are you?
Maybe something smaller, like I don't know, a bandana.
Oh, I can. And she rifles through her bag and she sees the bandana that she was supposed to tie-dye for Rose. I was like, I can't. I will get you. Yes, I will do that. I can make that happen. Absolutely, you would look so good with your hair. I can do some complementary colors. Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
You remind me quite a bit of Ben from the most recent book. It's you could even be the muse for that character. You're very striking. It's very nice to meet you.
Thanks. I don't think that Robin, used inspiration, but I've kind of been telling my friends that was happening.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
They're buying it, so I'm happy about that.
And Rose gets, oh no, sorry, I don't know why I said Rose. Hazel gets very blushed. You can see the little tips of her ears are even more red than her bubblegum pink hair. And she immediately turns and dives back into the hors d'oeuvres and starts to like fiddle very nervously.
Sylvie just has the biggest shit-eating grin, just like she can't mask it, just all across her face as if she has accomplished something great.
You sure have.
I'm not trying to pick on you, but this is another role moment. And this is also a chance to explain how some of the rules work. You have the condition thirsty.
I do.
Are you flirting with Kai?
I am.
Okay.
Probably not very well.
It's been
okay.
With presence, but okay. I think when you have a condition, it's a -1 on your.
Okay,
roll.
so it's just neutral.
Yeah, when you have a relative condition, so like
okay.
yeah, exactly. It's just neutral.
Gotcha. Okay, so that is just a flat 8.
Okay. So this is another situation where there's a few consequences unless you want to completely fail.
Okay.
Right? And I think the consequence is that Kai is 100% going to get what you're doing, and you might be coming on a little strong.
Okay. That tracks.
Yeah. I feel like that tracks too. That tracks too. So yeah, Kai sort of nods and like has like a bit of like a bemused grin. And disappears back into the crowd. What are the rest of y'all who are in the green room doing?
I actually come over to Hazel and I'm just like, you did a really great job back there. And I just put an arm over her shoulder and just be like, hey, it's, talking to someone that you really find attractive can be stressful.
Well,
but you really kept cool back there.
Okay. Well, I mean, you read all these books and you think it's going to be easy, and then it happens, and it's been a year or two, and I'm a little
it's not always as simple as the what's the name of the series?
Amanda Delacourt.
The Gold Court Mysteries? Is it Gold?
Yeah.
Gold Crown Mysteries.
Gold Crown.
Not as simple as the Gold Crown Mysteries.
Oh, she just writes it and it sounds so easy, and people meet and then it's it's love at first sight, but we're tempering our expectations.
Can you take one of the edibles
I'm gonna put a
that Matilda's coming around with?
Just
look, at this
calm down. Just there.
So the other thing that's happening that you're sort of hearing buzzing, and actually, Rose, once you've got all the groceries or the stuff delivered, do you go down to the rec room as well, the green room, or not?
Yeah, I mean, it takes me a while. Rose is very finicky about, she has a bunch of like creams and stuff that she has brought, like fresh from the cow stuff. And she is like, no, it needs to be kept at this temperature. We need to put it in this location in the fridge. I don't care. We're moving those things. Right. And so like, and then she's like labeling stuff because apparently this is a thing. She doesn't want anybody touching it. So she's putting like giant do not touches on it. I don't know. Sierra's probably sitting in a corner somewhere with like a couple of sandwiches that Rose made for her and all the snacks.
Yep. Finally relaxed. So when you join the rec room as well, the green room, you'll also
and I'll bring Sierra with me if Sierra's not ready to drive yet, because Rose doesn't necessarily know.
Sierra
she just knows that
Sierra's
spending good time.
Yeah, they're staying for the afternoon now.
Yeah, no, Sierra's definitely not ready to drive, so we'll come down to the rec room with you as well. There's two things that y'all will sort of pick up and see. One is that the buzz is that there's like a big sort of celebrity kind of person, or almost celebrity kind of person, who's like going to be a surprise presenter. And those of you who are like on the message boards know that there's already some rumors, like people kind of have an idea of who this person might be. So let me know if you're someone who's like on message boards about this. But there's some of that, and you also get the schedule. People are starting to pass out the first day's schedule, and the schedule is there's like a opening assembly, which will be happening like in the evening, like as the sun is sort of going down. And then there's like a smaller invite only, and all the invitations are being given out in the green room, so you all get them. Invite only sort of reception to honor the Hawthorns, who are now going to not be running the con. And you could notice like, so the convocation is in like the big outdoor arena out in the woods. The like reception is in like the craft hut. there's not a lot of room. It's not like a very nice place, but you know, they're trying. So those are the two major events of the day, as you're passing them out. And then the rumors are that a podcast star named Nimbus, or that's his stage name.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the superstar here. He's gonna be the surprise, and everyone's sort of buzzing around about that.
Jen,
Yes.
is he hot?
He's hot in two ways. One is that he's quite
multi-dimensional hotness,
Right?
But he's also hot in the sense that now he's quite popular. However, who follows this stuff? Who would actually know more about Nimbus?
I feel like Matilda's the one, because they might be the one that's like, I got into the books because I read them on digital. Like they gave me like this library app, and then I found it. So they're the ones who's like found the forum, and then like was like, well, is there anything in my area? And then they found the group, the book club, where I could talk to people.
Nice.
Kind of a situation. So they would know that they would be that.
Definitely. Okay, so like one of the things you kind of know, like the scuttlebutt on this, which is a word that I absolutely love.
I love scuttlebutt.
Yeah, right.
Underused.
Okay,
It's very good.
So like kind of the queen of true crime podcasts up until recently was Con Dog. The queen of those podcasts. The Con Dog is protecting us right now from a dog on the other side of the lake.
Oh,
Very important.
that's terrifying.
Right? So Tammy Truscott was the big name, like the star, kind of like, if you think, I can't remember the person who did Serial, but like back when that happened and what a big name she was. But she has been supplanted now by Nimbus, right? And Nimbus runs Not Your Mother's True Crime podcast, also called NIM. And it's a little bit of like, those of you who like are attuned to this, like it's a little bit of like I'm the masculine version of true crime podcasts. This is a true crime podcast for men. Although he has like fans across the gender spectrum, who call themselves NIMBYs.
Oh God.
Which some of you might.
Wow, I hate it.
Real quick question:
Is this
How old
Andrew
is this
fucking
Nimbus?
Tate of true crime?
I mean, Jen, that's brilliant, but like,
I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
I mean, that's my job to make you hate stuff. So yes, he has a number of fans, and like, come to think of it, there were a lot of people with like NIM shirts on when you were coming in. Not in this green room, but there were a number of people. So that's the expected star.
I like to think Matilda thinks they are funny. And when these they call them Nimorane, like instead of like a ignoramus, they call them Nimoranus. So they think that's so funny. And so when they're like on the forums, they're like, listen here, and they like always spell it wrong. It's always spelled differently. So they're like, they're not fun.
I like to think that Gwen is aware in that sometimes her granddaughter will show her TikToks that maybe her uncle Gwen's son has tried to send his mother, and she's aware that it's a part, but not how big the like fandom is, or like the conversation around this like supplanting of Tammy Truscott. And
you know, like a grandmother in our world would have heard the word PewDiePie, but won't really understand.
But like from their kids and not really understanding what is that a kind of pie? Is that apple
right?
pie?
Watching one of those PewDiePie.
Yeah. Is that My Little Pony, right? Yeah, the pink one.
So we're gonna break in a couple of minutes, and here's how I'm gonna structure this. You're gonna have an opportunity to sort of say like one more thing that your character is gonna do before like the big convocation, and we're gonna take a break, and then we will have that convocation. I'm going to think of some more snappy thing that Concord would call that, because they're definitely not calling it a convocation, but I'll think about that during break. So what is one last thing that your character might do, or last conversation that you have with each other or someone else that will role play out before the grand convocation?
That just sounds so official and fancy. I don't want to ruin it with what Gwen's going to say and do, because I know she's going to be ridiculous.
But exactly.
Well,
good.
here.
Are we here to be
I
serious?
was about to say, now you gotta go first.
I
If
think she's
you
here to
don't
be.
want to be the first, I can absolutely make it be like, no, okay, you know what, Rose, stop. We'll be our own kind of ridiculous. Rose has shown back up in the green room, and she's got like this pamphlet thing, not pamphlet, bigger than a pamphlet, a manual.
Yeah.
And she keeps like nodding to the conversation, but she's like kind of looking through it and flips pages, nods to the conversation, and at some point she goes, I can't believe that they think that this is how you're supposed to run a kitchen. This is ridiculous.
Now, you are doing some research, and this feels like a role.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
even though you're not like searching for a clue yet, I'm going to have you roll the meddling move.
Okay.
And you can pick the ability that you're going to use, or I can help give you an idea. And let's see what you glean from reading this manual. It might be reason. That would seem to me to be like the most reasonable. Haha. You could make an argument for sensitivity if you want, even though that's usually occult stuff. What would you like to roll? I'd even
Would
give
it be
you
composure?
Yes, why would it be
Because
composure?
she's maintaining herself enough to like finish reading this and not just like be upset straight in the
Yes.
beginning like she
Yes,
wants
and
to
also
be.
not like, and also kind of be part of the conversation to totally
Yes.
roll composure.
Yes. All right. Wow. Okay. 13.
13. Whoa. Okay. So for those who don't know, come on, dogs. For those who don't
They're
know, a
also
12
excited.
plus, yeah, a 12 plus is basically a crit, right? So here's what you're finding. Like, let's say, what are you looking for in this manual? And then I'm going to tell you what else you find.
I think that initially there is concern about her being allowed to be using the kitchen might be changed, because they wanted to bring a catering service in, and that would absolutely mean that no one else is allowed in the kitchen space, because that's entirely just reserved for them. And so she's like going through and making sure that any sort of like, because she's dealt with this before with other like events and whatever venues that she's helped like people host things at and whatnot. And so she just wants to make sure any sort of like little points where they might try and trip her up, or spots that they try and might bar her or red tape her, that she's aware of them and can combat them.
Yeah. Okay, I think you learned two things from that, and then I'm going to give you an extra thing for the 12 plus, right?
Okay.
One is you get a sense of the rules. Like, you know the rules. You know how, like, the basic ones. Like, you know, they've got different rules about what temperature things need to be stored at, like all sorts of stuff like that. So you get the rules down. You also get the sense from reading it that they are trying to muscle people out. Like, they're creating rules so that they can replace people with like the companies they want to work with, right? Without being like too outrageous and rocking the boat too much. Here's your extra clue though. There's some rules that don't make a ton of sense. Like that seem like almost like ritualistic. Like, you know, make sure before you, what's a good example? Make sure before you serve all of this food that you leave a portion of it out of respect on the counter. Like, little things that make very, very little sense. And that the ritualistic stuff is usually directed toward like the general manager and like the CEO, CFO, all of that kind of thing. Like, that extra portion on the counter is out of respect to the general manager, even if the general manager doesn't eat it. So there's just this weird sort of ritualistic stuff, and like a lot of an emphasis on hierarchy and on bringing their own people in, and it just gives you like an ick feeling.
Got it.
I'm going to see who else has something they want to do before we break.
I mean,
You have to go. Hazel.
Mine's super short. Hazel's definitely going to try to sneak into the kitchen and try to find a beer to quell her very shaky nerves now after an interaction with a very beautiful man.
I'm not going to make you roll for that. You can definitely find some beer and some other booze in the kitchen. Definitely.
Rose just
They're not
sees
part
Hazel.
of the hors d'oeuvres. Like, we don't have iced beers.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Do I have to sneak to find them, or are they freely
Depends.
available?
Do you want like craft beers, or do you want?
She does like her beer. If there's nothing but like,
no, there's wonderful craft beers down in the rec room.
All right.
Yeah, so you
Cool.
can find it. So
That's
you've got,
all
like, that. Yeah, you're on your way to like getting yourself a little bit over that tense interaction.
Fabulous.
In which you were
Amazing.
maybe a little bit too obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, who else? Gwen has something.
Gwen, it's short, it's sweet. Gwen just overheard a little bit of a conversation in the green room and is going to turn to, I think it was Lady and Hazel. I heard edibles. Do I hear snacks over here? Do we have the good stuff? Do we have like a little canapé, perhaps?
I love her so much.
Because she absolutely never remembers that, like, there's a capital E edible, and then just
Gwen.
like...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, she needs to understand the difference. We can't have her going around like this. Gwen, we've talked about this. It's drugs most of the time. Assume it's mostly drugs.
Yeah. When it's not drugs, they usually don't use the word edibles. They'll say crops.
Yeah, it is edible, but not. Look at this table of edibles. It's just.
Okay,
put
well,
it out of your mind.
You can eat them. That's what I think. You just pop them in your mouth.
I
that
get
reminds me, I've
Yeah,
got
where
my
you're coming from,
my
but we gotta
Tylenol
put
right now.
Tylenol.
She'll pull out one of those like round little
the
like pill
edibles
containers.
are better than the Tylenol.
They should combine them. Just like put your Tylenol in a little
No,
I would
you
eat it
shouldn't.
in a like with some locks and some.
I combine my Tylenol and my edibles all the time.
Thank you.
Rose has absolutely
learn.
stopped
Rose.
reading. The moment she heard like edibles and snacks, she was gonna be like, "Hey, I can make you something," and then this whole thing unfolded, and then she turns to Sylvie and goes, "You put your edible in your snack the same way I give the dog his medicine for deworming?"
My cats hate it.
I'm going to unflap my Mothman satchel, and I'm going to pull out this little tube that has like a little syringe taped to it, like a dropper syringe, not a stabby syringe.
Okay.
And there's like a big like medical cannabis leaf. It's like you can put it in your tea too.
I just have to say we are so busting myths about seniors and sex and drugs.
Hell
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good and accurate.
Yep.
Hey Val, could you do me a favor and tell me exactly what your Mothman messenger bag says?
It's my Mothman messenger bag very specifically says, let me find it real quick. I got it from
me.
I did get it from you.
Or rather, your character got this in character bag from my character.
It says, like, I saw Mothman and his ass is fantastic. And it's got a thick Mothman.
Right.
Like,
Mothman, America's
like, okay, time out. I imagine it's like Mothman from behind, and his wings are sort of split at
Right, and he's like
slightly at the bottom where you can see his booty cheeks, and he's like looking over his shoulder and doing this.
Yes!
That's awesome.
And she, just like the tie-dye shirt that was gifted to her, is unashamed. Her friend gave her this. Of course she's gonna have it.
I love
She just has
Sylvie.
layers
so
of
much.
shirts. She just has layers of shirts.
Anything else
So-
before we go to our break?
I do have one.
Alright.
Go for it.
Sorry. So I think at some point while I'm talking to Hazel and Hazel is like getting a drink, she goes ahead and goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know I really appreciated the shirt, and I was planning to make a big thing out of it, but." And then she like unbuns her shirt, and she has the tie-dye T-shirt under it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you like it. I put a lot of work into them, and it looks so good on you. I'm so glad it matches your complexion. I am so happy.
Thank you. It is every color, so
It is. Well, but you don't understand. With tie-dye, it's about the placement. It's about doing every color, but tastefully. You don't want to put certain colors next to each other. That's why you twist and
you'll have to teach me. I
will.
just see noise. I don't see signal.
And I'm gonna say there's a fade out. As Hazel describes in detail the tie-dye process amidst this buzzing room of VIPs. And let's go to our break. Yeah, let's go to our break. Let's break till 4:40. Is that like a 12-minute break? Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
And we'll be back at 4:40 with the convocation of MurderCon.
Exciting.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
Eva, do you want to talk about the donations first?
Oh, that would be a very good thing to do.
We've gotten a couple, even like y'all are amazing. We've gotten a couple donations.
I know. Yes, so there are, of course, donations are incredible just on their own. There are in-game incentives to reward you or us, however you want to view it. For a $5 donation, you can give any one of us a +1 to our roll. As you've seen, that can make or break some situations. And you can pick a player, or you can just donate it into a pool, and then we'll probably never use it because we're all too nice and want other people to use it instead of us, is my suspicion.
Yep.
For $10, you can choose to give us an advantage on our rolls. You can either pick a player again, or we can put it into a pool, as we have already done with some of your generous donations. $30, all of us get a +1 to a roll, and for a $40 donation, all of us get an advantage to a roll, which is very handy. And we've got some bigger donation suggestions coming down the way, because some of you are very kind. Literally every dollar helps. You can learn more about the Alzheimer's Association by typing !charity. All the incentives I just said are under exclamation point incentive, I believe, or at least !donate. And I think that covers all of them.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all are wonderful, and I just am so excited to be back playing with all of you. And okay, I love all these characters so much. And I'll see everybody. We'll see everybody in about 12 minutes.
Yay.
Yay! I'm so excited to be back. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Y'all are so great. So like if I wasn't doing a mystery, I would just sit back and let you talk, because that's the best. But because I am, we're gonna do a little bit of like sort of narration, and then we're gonna start the opening ceremony. And you all get a chance to either find your cabin/bunks on the grounds of the camp, or there is a nice little motel outside called the Orkney Motel, which was the Potomac Motel, Potomac being that river. Who's on the grounds and who's in the hotel? Just really quick.
On the grounds.
Yeah, I'm
On the
definitely
grounds.
bunking up.
I think I'm the only one in the hotel.
Okay.
On the grounds.
You meet
Wait,
Anna.
hang on. Are the grounds, or is the hotel closer to the kitchen?
Grounds, very much so.
Okay, then on
Yeah,
the grounds.
The hotel is like a little bit out of the camp.
Okay.
So yeah, you do meet Anna Wu, Gwen, who's just very friendly, very like a competent person who runs this wonderful inn, and like isn't particularly ambitious about it. It's just like very happy and content to be good at what she does. And that's kind of who you meet outside of the camp. And those of you who go to the bunks have been renamed the Lizzie Borden Bungalows, which again, not how it used to be. It used to be called, I can't remember what's St. Mary Magdalen or St. Mary Marsden or something like that, which is the name of where Miss Marple lived. But they've been renamed as the Lizzie Borden Bunks. So you were able to like get your stuff, pack things up, change if you want to. The opening ceremony is actually outside and it's spring, so some like warmer clothes probably would be something that you would be going for. And the ceremony is out in the woods. You pass near the lodge, near the currently Overlook Hotel. There's a little bridge, and you go over the bridge and then you go into this, what's the word for trees that aren't pine trees?
Coniferous?
Deciduous, yeah.
Or deciduous.
Deciduous tree.
Wait, did you say carnivorous?
I said coniferous.
Okay.
I heard the carnivorous too. I was like, I mean, hopefully not.
I feel like that's what it's been renamed though, just for the
the carnivorous forest.
Carnivorous forest.
Yes.
And this really nice sort of amphitheater that overlooks the lake. And there's like a little stage in the front, but it's wired up. There's lights, and like it's like a pretty cool little area. And you make your way there with like a crowd of young people and some people that you recognize. So for instance, I would say actually, and he needs to make an appearance. You notice, Hazel, that Melvin
Hell yeah.
walking in the crowd. Over to do you greet Melvin or just leave Melvin on his own, or what do you do?
I'll greet Melvin. Sure. I walk up to him and I go, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you made it. How are you liking it so far?"
Describe Melvin to us.
All right, so Melvin is the who Hazel lovingly refers to as her mushroom guy. He gives her mushrooms. And she thinks that makes her so hip and so young and so cool. And she will bring it up whenever she can. And she invited Melvin here. In my head, I feel like Melvin doesn't really know what he's in for. Just thought it'd be a cool thing to do. She's roped him into it. Partly because she wants to show off her cool mushroom guy and that he's young and hip and that he's her friend. And also because she thinks he'll enjoy it. So I guess, she'll maybe wave over the rest of the group and be like, this is the guy. This is Melvin.
I'm Melvin. What does Melvin look like?
I don't know, like stoner, 20-year-old, lanky. That's as far as my mind went.
Dazed and confused.
You can make up anything else for Melvin.
Lanky young guy, like.
He's definitely wearing an oversized tie-dye t-shirt that Hazel made for him. That you might see him wear nothing else for the rest of the. That's all he's got. Well, pants.
It's out of shot.
It's out of shot.
Like ripped old jeans. Like he really, his style is like make everybody think he didn't put any effort into his style. He's someone who would have like mussed up his hair on the way out. He's got an image. He's a pretty sarcastic kind of guy. Like he uses sarcasm as a defense, but like he's got this shirt on, even though he really likes to be cool. You don't know much about Melvin, but like you can tell that is a sweet gesture.
Aww.
Right. I'm here, I guess.
So ladies, this is Melvin. This is his first time at Murder Con. So if you need anything, all of my friends here are more than happy to help you, show you around. And ladies, if you need anything from Melvin is here.
Welcome, dear.
Melvin is real.
I did bring supplies. Yes, I brought if anyone needs, anything.
I give him a firm handshake, like really squeeze him hard, and I go, "Thank you for your service."
And he looks like a little bit like thrown off.
Melvin, dear, I am going to need to know all the different kinds of strains that you've brought so that I can cross-reference them and then know which one I need from you.
That was a little complicated for me. What are you talking
If you
about?
tell
You
me
wanna
the
blind me?
names,
I need
if
to
you
know
tell
the
me
names.
the names,
Yeah, I need to know all
Okay,
the names of what you
the
brought.
stuff. Oh,
Mm-hmm. And then I will put
Okay.
an order in with you when I know which ones you have.
and he gives a look like, "Are you a narc?" That's sort of. He doesn't say it.
Oh, yeah.
Not
I don't know if
confident enough
it
to be a
helps.
narc.
I don't know if it helps or hurts that Matilda is up to, again with like just they're so phone savvy. With after like, if you tell me the names, I can put it into this thing and it'll tell me all the little chemicals for it.
And he leans in, and says, I gotta have your backs. I just want to like point out, and he like pulls up his phone, and there's a video of all of you like wading your way into the crowd up to the front table with like a lot of comments, like there's a lot of thumbs down and like a lot of like snarky things about like people who think they own the place and like that kind of like you kind of got a rep already.
Is that that's us?
Is that it? Well, but all press is good press. Like, is that like we did a cool thing that
I don't think it means we did
made
a
our
cool
mark?
thing.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
you could probably, yeah.
They're
Probably
saying
leverage it
bad
if you
things
wanted.
about us behind our back.
Well, that's not nice. If you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say it. Anybody knows.
Oh, I knew
Yeah.
we shouldn't have. Oh, damn it. How could we? How do we post a response video? How do we handle this?
I don't have the clothes for a response video. Don't you do that? They gonna
Mellow-
talk to
Mellow
all the
Melvin.
people.
Rose, where's your phone?
Are you
I
asking?
don't know.
You're
This
asking
is
for
a
Melvin's
data.
phone?
I was
Yeah.
asking for Melvin's phone.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no!
Yeah.
I'm not giving you my phone. Yeah, I would just suggest like maybe like some like good press.
What's the username on that account?
He'll give you a username.
Don't do
think
that.
about
Yeah,
what it is.
Well,
and that's when
Okay.
a cat
Show you.
appears on my shoulder, like just jumps on my shoulder, and I give him a firm nod.
And
with the
another thing
username.
that- who looks really close? I think Sylvie. That means you're looking pretty closely. So I'm gonna have you have a
Yeah.
meddling move roll.
Oh,
Go
absolutely.
ahead and roll. And I mean, I think reason is the one that you would roll with.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that lady goes ahead and asks, Mella Melvin, do you have any expertise with this sort of internet smear campaign, counter-espionage? Do you know how this works?
Can you get the TMZ people?
Probably,
The 10.
probably that. What did we name it actually?
Uh,
Eva, what did we name the
MNZ mystery.
MNZ? Okay,
Yeah,
I think you
yeah,
can get
that's like
MNZ.
the TMZ version of. I think I have a connect there. I think I can help out with that.
I'd like to
yeah.
order one of those then.
Yeah, but like
It's a
what you're gonna need
service.
to do is like do some cool stuff.
Gwen's
stuff.
going to. I think she almost dropped her purse after the cat jumped up out of nowhere.
On my shoulder.
And she's gonna pick it up, and then they're gonna go pat Melvin's arm and dig through their purse really quick. And okay, not really quick. It's gonna be a second, but you hold on. I got something for you. Okay, just hang on. And then she's gonna come up with a little pair of just like a dark purple, not tie-dyed. You could probably tie-dye them if you were very bold.
Oh yeah.
Crocheted
Which
fingerless
is it?
gloves that she
Ooh.
just had been working on, and she's gonna pass them over to Melvin. That was very kind of you, sweetheart. So you take good care. You stay warm, okay?
Melvin seems genuinely touched. Like this is some guy that you would think like would like make a show of like, oh, okay, but like genuinely touched. Sylvie, what was your role?
It was a 10.
10.
I
Okay.
love that he's just like acquiring all these old lady trinkets just unabashedly. It makes me so
I'm sitting
happy.
here thinking about what I want to give them.
He is our son now.
Sylvie,
love
what
him.
are you looking for?
I just wanted to see what the username was, and then essentially summon my familiar, and everyone just hears meow meow meow, but really Sylvia's just like in them.
Okay, so there's going to be a second roll for that one.
For sure.
So what you find is Meekle Bomb.
Meekle Bomb?
B-A-U-M-E, Meekle Bomb.
Meekle Bomb with a
who
B.
You can B-A-U-M-E, and Meekle, M-I-K-A-L, is the owner of this account. And if you go to his account, you see like they are a Nimbus super fan.
A Nimbus
all about
super
it.
fan.
Yeah, and like a lot of the comments that are like negative on this video are NIMBYs, like a lot. So that seems to be like kind of what's going on here.
So I have to like just talk about the irony of them being called NIMBYs, because here in Vancouver, or probably other places too, NIMBY stands for not in my backyard,
Right.
which is
100%.
which is usually
Yeah.
people that are boomer and older.
The
Yeah.
NIMBYs are aware of that, and in fact, Nimbus is a little bit of someone who's interested in community safety.
Oh, goody.
So those who know like embrace that term for exactly that reason.
Yeah.
So that's what you notice. And like, why don't you make a roll? Because you're doing something occult. And the occult move, we kind of get to negotiate as a group what happens with the occult move. And also, I want you all to remember that you have bonuses. Like, I'm not telling you have to do it this time, but remember you have bonuses and other opportunities to like make these rolls do what you want.
Now, do we need to declare ahead of time if we're going to use one of those bonuses, or do we get to like roll?
You can roll and then say it. You can roll and then say it. I mean, I'm making that up, but it's cool. You can roll and then say it. So Sylvie, why don't you go ahead and roll, and that would be with sensitivity.
Does my cat give me any bonuses on this?
I think what you're doing is rolling to get the cat to do like what you want on a more
he is a cat.
level. Yeah.
Sensitivity. It's a 7.
All right.
Do you want to use? We have 5.
Yes. To pump things up. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go.
And
if it was like a 9, I would. Yeah, if it was a 9, I would pump it up, because then otherwise it would take like 3 things to pump it up, right?
We also have a free auto crit for the day, and also we have those extra 3. And let me explain why I'm explaining that. A 7 to 9 on the occult move, you get what you want done, and in fact, you make a move that's open for everybody else to help with. So, like, your cat will become your resource, but also somebody that the others start to kind of understand.
But please, I want someone to start understanding my cat.
But on a 7 to 9, you have to mark the Crown of the Void.
Okay.
You gonna
consider it marked.
I was referencing that we have 5 advantage rolls. So you would roll an additional d6 and replace whatever your lowest number is with like the highest.
Okay. I will take one of the advantages then to see if that 3 will be replaced.
Okay.
And it was with a 6, so that would have been a 10.
Okay.
Instead. So now I don't mark Crown of the Void.
So what do you want the cat to do?
I would like the cat to my little boy Reeves. And for those of you who don't know, there's a little tuxedo. And he just fucking appeared. Very specifically, I want him to make this go away. So what I'm asking specifically is, can he possess the internet and delete the account?
No notes. Perfect.
Okay.
Incredible.
Take control of the
10
account.
out of 10.
Like, I think that's what I want him to do. Is
You
take
want him to
control
hack
of
the
the
account.
account.
No.
Okay.
The whole internet. Just the entire
He's right. You said the internet.
Come Skynet AI for a moment.
But like, he's possessing the internet particularly to take over this account. Like,
Okay.
and the thing is, I don't want the person to notice that anything is wrong with it. Like, I just want it, but like, it's until like it's posted. Like,
Right.
it's like,
It's probably
because
going to be
it'll-
like, why the hell can't I log into my account? What's going on?
yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna log in and it's gonna be fine. But anytime like he posts like negative Nancy stuff about us, it just becomes like positive Nancy stuff.
I love it.
Okay,
love
so
it.
the
Peggy
rest of the
stuff.
group-
Shadow ban.
So
Yes.
Shadow band.
shadow ban, love it.
No, I want to
So-
get or hype us up. So I
Oh,
like
yeah.
the hype. Yeah, I want him. I wanted like because it's just so much worse if he tries to post terrible things and they just become nice things.
I like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Reeves, like you see
Mhm.
this cat, like kind of start interacting, if you're okay with this, Val, with Sylvie's phone, like a little bit, like
Pause at it.
right, yeah, swiping his paws at it. You all have a choice here at this moment for what the occult move is now going to be. Is the occult move now going to be that the rest of you realize that Reeves has got something going on and you can start to kind of communicate with him? Or are you going to start having some slight powers over the internet? Which do you want?
Oh my gosh.
Strongly
A bunch-
biased towards the second. I like being aloof towards this cat.
Because think about it, all of us like, well, that's not what that should say. I remembered that. And then suddenly a Wikipedia page somewhere is edited.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
It's
That's
just-
good.
Okay. All right. So you're going to
I'm
have
gonna
an occult
be the one.
Huh?
Is this individually or as a group? Because
as a group. It's a group move.
Oh,
I was gonna
okay.
be like, Rose doesn't do internet, but I don't want to poo-poo
But
anybody
that
else.
doesn't mean
So.
that doesn't mean it can't work in such a way that the internet changes because of something Rose thinks or wants. It's
That's
a role. Like,
terrifying.
Yeah.
And now I'm down
Exactly.
for it.
it's an open kind of role that we will negotiate. And so one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to write that move in Discord because that's what the occult move is we create a new move.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
the internet is
so
going to
now-
be
oh,
one of
okay.
the new moves. Yep.
I love
Moving
this.
forward though, yeah, like so the cat's playing with Sylvie's phone, which is kind of weird, and I don't know why anybody would do that. Maybe it would scratch the phone. Like that's what's in your head about it. There's no sense of like the cat knows what he's doing. Sylvie, of course, you know exactly what the cat is doing.
It's just a cute
Um,
cat playing
yeah.
with the phone. There's a fly on
Yeah.
it.
But like all of you notice like the internet is for some of you like a source of anxiety.
Hmm.
Right? And like Rose, for instance, you're not just like, yay, internet. But like you feel a little more comfortable with just the general concept of social media and like a sense of like, not worrying about that video. Oh, disadvantage has been noted into Hazel.
That's perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Please.
And you can
I love
if you want,
failure.
neutralize it. You can neutralize it with an advantage, but that's you have to.
Oh,
spend
that's
an
beautiful.
advantage
Thank
to
you,
do it.
Bill.
All right. Just a sec. Awesome. Yes, good idea, Bunz. So you get to the auditorium or the open air arena, and you see at the front like it's buzzing. There's a lot of young people. There's a lot of people with like the same like black and red T-shirt that has the NIM letters on it, kind of clustered in one area. There's also just a lot of young people who seem like they're just there and having a good time. Melvin kind of like goes off and does his own thing for a little while. And you all take your seat. And up comes, sorry, just a second. I'm looking at my people. Oh, that's funny. Up comes Arthur Green. And Arthur Green is actually the groundskeeper of the camp. An old African-American man, like, just knows everything about the camp. Like, has been at the camp friggin' forever. If you need an expert on horseback riding, he's the expert. If you need an expert on, like, keeping like the water supply pumping from the well, he's the expert. He's like the beating heart and soul, metaphorically, not literally, maybe, of the camp. And he's emceeing, and he's up there with a couple of people who have, he announces who they are. One is Jessica Cannon, who's the VP of Concord, who's there specifically to be honored to introduce Concord to the crowd. And Arthur Green says, please come out here. Come on out here, Jessica. And Jessica walks up from the back of the crowd with one of those giant checks.
Oh no.
Right? And it's a check for like $1 million, just some astronomically high amount of money, and presents it to Arthur Green. And Arthur is like, oh my gosh, I can't, you've already donated, everybody, Concord has already donated so much to fix up our gardening and add an apiary and you know, trim back the trees that were threatening our electricity cords that they've already done. I can't, like, there's just shock. And you see also sitting up there Gloria and Glenn Hawthorne, just in seats in the back, just looking a little bit dejected, even like more dejected at this, like a little bit of like, why couldn't we have had that money? If we had that money, maybe we wouldn't have needed to sell. Maybe we would have been able to make this place more profitable. There's a lot of applause going on in the theater. And you also see Evelyn Sanchez, who's the general manager of the con, going up and sort of describing some of the activities that will be happening. Some of the panels that there will be, all of that kind of thing, a schedule that byJen haven't written, but we'll try to write for everybody before next time. Notably does not mention the reception for Gloria or Glenn. Just isn't part of what she talks about. And then the lights go out for just a moment. And you hear a new voice on the mic saying, introducing the star, the most important person, the biggest, the bestest at MurderCon, Nimbus! And there's like applause, and there's like lights that go. And the lights are sort of shining, and like spotlights are going everywhere. And Nimbus is walking up to the front, walking up the stage. And just in this moment when this is happening, what are the rest of you doing? What Sylvie, what are you paying attention to? What are you thinking and feeling?
Sylvie's just sitting down, like leaning forward, elbows on her knees, cat hanging out, and is looking over and is like, capitalism.
Yeah.
What?
Gwen, what about you?
Gwen is not keen on this change of noise and hullabaloo, and is very briefly confused that she's in the wrong place, even though obviously she's not, and will probably pat around for the arm of her friend closest to her and absolutely grab like a college-aged, young person, their forearm instead.
No.
But over the noise and like the lights, I think she's not even gonna look at them and realize her mistake. She's just gonna lean over and, who is this, do you think? Do you think this is one of them, like, I don't know, one of them fan authors they always talk about? Don't you read them on your iPad?
Excellent.
The
I'm not gonna get to
AO6
the response yet, but
I forgot about the session 1 canon that Gwen reads like fan fiction. I forgot about that. That makes me so happy.
Yes. Hazel, what are you doing?
Hazel is conflicted because she does not like Nimbus's energy and what he's doing to the con, but she also does not want to seem like an old lady stereotype who's not excited about change and new things and things that are popular with young people. So she's trying to get into it, but like is uncomfortable about it. But she doesn't want to. She's looking at how maybe Gwen's reacting, how some other people are not happy about it, and she's trying to kind of distance herself a little bit because she doesn't want to be seen as a downer on something that everyone is getting excited about. But she's not very convincing because she doesn't really know how she feels about it. But she's going with the crowd right now, in a kind of uncomfortable way. Yeah.
Yeah. Lady, what about you?
Yeah, I'm sitting right next to her being like, can you believe all these things are changing? This is so miserable.
You saying that to me?
Happened? Yeah. Just
Okay.
like out loud, everything that you're thinking and don't want to say.
Amazing.
Rose, what about you?
I think that Rose has closed her eyes and put her hands up and is just kind of like, oh, I can't. This is too much. This is too much. When is it done? And is just like not participating in the excitement of it because the flashing lights and the loud beating sound is just too much. And she's just like, when's it over? When is it over?
And as you're saying that, as all of these things are going on, and the lights come up for Nimbus to begin his speech, Gwen, you grabbed around for people, and not only did you grab one of the young people next to you, your hand kind of went over onto Matilda's shoulder. And the lights come up, and Matilda slumps over.
Matty?
No response.
Matty! Hey, Matty! Hey, come on, this isn't funny. Help? Help, Matty?
Gwen, what's wrong?
I don't know. Look at her, she's just there, like... Matty, come on!
Stands
We're-
up quickly,
we're-
walks around.
Yeah, we're in the front row, right?
VIP,
I
yeah.
can
VIP.
imagine- You're in the front row? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because VIP and we can't see. So
Yeah.
that was
Good point. Good point.
And I,
That's the whole point.
Gwen's kind of like
think
not
Rose-
believing with all the like whatnot that any like everything's just too much all at once, and this is like a whole new layer of
So and we're coming to like kind of the sting and end of the session, just so you know, you will get a chance to react to a lot of this next time. As you're trying to see if Matty is okay, and there's a little bit of a stir starting to happen in the like second row, mostly people being irritated that you're making all this noise.
Rose is going to get up and take Matilda and lay her on the ground because Rose has like vague veterinarian background being on a farm and stuff. And so she's going to do what she can understand about like when a creature is not well, definitely don't have him slumping over a chair. So she is going to, again, being the person that does not care if she's causing a disturbance, apparently, lays Matilda on the ground and begins like checking for a pulse and skin temperature and sort of like looking for flush response, just basic biology
Nimbus
things like.
stops his speech and watches as Matilda is laid in front of the podium, and Matilda is obviously dead. At the same time, what none of you see yet, in the back of the crowd, watching all of this, Bunz, can you describe your actual character?
Yes.
So
Love that.
all of you probably would have noticed them when you first came in, especially if you were going to the front because you want to get your seat. So you may have seen a few of the older people, alumni, and even maybe some young people walk by and touch the statue that was in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we lost sound.
I lost your sound.
This is so good because I know where this is going now.
Yeah.
Bunz, we can't hear you
Bunz,
though.
We lost you. Oh my god.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Good,
we're good.
okay.
We're good. We're back.
All right. So what was the last thing everybody heard?
Statue in the back.
Statue.
People touch the statue
Yeah.
in the back.
Just people
which
like
was
probably
really-
touch the, just touch the statue in the back. Just it's nothing really to think about. But they are a picture of a siren. The camp that this is placed at, Camp Warp and Weft, has a mascot. And it is something that has gone down that nobody really remembers. When it showed up, they just know it's always been here. And they are raised, they kind of low-key look like the type of mermaid that has the double tails until you get close and realize they're almost like stingray tips. And yes, they do have tattoos that have gone up until you get close and realize half of them are names that have been carved into them. But they're very confused why, one, it's so loud, and two, why everybody is interrupting their nap.
And as energy from the soul of Matty dispersing through the crowd hits you, and you become embodied once more for the first time outside of summer.
Yeah.
What is your name?
Well, I'm Maisie, and welcome to Camp Warp and West.
We'll stop there.
Oh my goodness.
Chills.
I have been trying. to shut up.
Incredible.
Oh my God, I have actual goosebumps. Oh my god.
That was amazing.
I love Matilda, but I was so happy.
I mean, Rip Matter, I really liked where you were taking that character, but R.I.P. I guess.
You did that character so well so that everyone would be convinced that that was actually the character.
Yeah.
God,
Ah!
I'm so upset right now.
I like, Jesus.
So now we
I
have
want
our
to cry on session 1.
Monster Hearts Brindlewood Bay crossover.
Oh, so good.
Everyone's faces. Can we just clip everyone's faces when they all went?
Oh my god.
And that's our session for today.
Yay!
We are started. The
Oh my
mystery is
goodness.
afoot. The
Let's go.
mystery is afoot.
I can't stop smiling. That was so good. Well,
That
good
was-
job.
I realized I sent it as a direct message instead of a whole message, but everyone wouldn't have heard it over all the music. But you all are gonna, in the group chat, there is a message. Like, no one saw them with their phone, but there's a message in the group that just says, "My head hurts. I'm a little dizzy."
Oh.
It happened after we got that occult power. I was like, then I realized I didn't send it to everybody. So it was perfect.
Yeah, like your phone, right as Matilda is laid out in front of the stage, your phone starts to bing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you get the
Oh
message.
god, that she wasn't feeling well. Oh god.
Yeah, they were a
Oh,
little
God.
dizzy.
It was a delayed. It took it got hung up on the way
Oh,
there, and
no.
it just now populated.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
jeez.
So let's go
Yeah,
over.
Matilda's oh god. I was like,
We gotta do
Hazel's
stuff.
channeling.
So you remember how I gave that speech in session 0 about how like I might be involved in deceiving you?
Oh, my face.
That's good.
This is
Do
why.
that more, Jen. Do that more. I
You
like
said
that.
it, and I was like-
Deceived.
The best deception.
I've never not looked at a camera so quick. You were like, I might be working with people. And I was like,
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, "Oh, Bunz, I'm so sorry." I just like made a moment of like making that reference.
Oh, went over my head. Didn't even clock it. So good.
Yep.
Oh,
Like,
that was
actually,
fun.
congratulations on surprising me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yay.
that's good. That's really, really good.
Oh
So
my
happy
gosh.
episodes. And you may or may not know it, but there are many clues that have been distributed throughout the session.
Interesting.
Mm.
Oh, Jen, I'm so excited.
I've been taking notes.
Yeah.
Going down.
We love you.
I was already trying to like cast my mind forward, like, oh, who could be the victim? Like, I hope it's Nimbus, but I know it won't be because that'd be too easy.
So good.
Never in a
Someone's
million
doing a
years.
rewrite
If you're
tonight.
satisfied, you just try to find the murderer and go.
Yeah.
It's time. That's the whodunit energy. We did it, y'all. We said it. We said the whodunit.
Yeah,
I
I
do
was like,
really love this way of having the like victim though, because it's not just some unnamed NPC that like
Yeah.
we're kind of like, yeah, okay, that's an important person. It's like one of us.
I
And so,
liked
like,
Matty.
all of us. Are
I know.
we're
I
like,
liked
no,
Matty a lot.
this is not okay.
Yeah.
And Bunz, credit to Bunz, like you made that character feel very real. Like I feel like I actually know who we're mourning, which is which you don't usually get.
Yeah.
That's so
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you so much. Because I did. I was like, even when I was like, we're gonna make the character, I was like, how do I not make this look like Maisie? And then you said you slipped up and said Maisie the other day. You were like,
Did
oh,
I?
Maisie. I mean Matty. I mean Matty. And I was like, you.
I'm so glad nobody clocked that.
No one clocked it. Oh my gosh.
Masterful. Just masterful.
Thank you.
Just so well done. Just,
I feel so free. I have no more secrets. I feel so free. I work well under pressure.
Oh my God,
Hire me.
Oh no! In perfect timing, the camera froze.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah,
We're good.
it's been randomly kind of doing that.
You
Yeah,
kind
she
of
usually
you
comes
go
back.
into like statue mode and then
Yeah.
not statue
That
mode.
makes sense
Animate,
now.
animate.
You
So,
were a
yeah.
statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a clue the whole time.
The whole time. The whole time? The whole time.
That's why it's one of the reasons why I put you all in the rec room with the snake and the mermaid statue, so that we would just have fresh in our minds the end of the last campaign. Yes.
Our snake. Our little snake. Hazel.
I'm gonna contact Guilty and see if she's willing to do a guest appearance. Now that you all know that
Cool.
Monster Hurts might cross over. But we'll see.
That would be lovely.
All right,
Fun.
really quick end of session
Oh, yeah.
stuff, and then like we need time to process, and I'm with you.
Yep.
Yep.
And I've been keeping this secret for like a couple of months.
We're
think.
free.
So, yes. Not that I don't have plenty more secrets. But end of session, like you mark some stuff on your character sheets for end of session for experience points. I'm
Mhm.
not 100% sure that they're gonna be super relevant. Oh no, there's stuff. There's absolutely stuff. So let's look over the end of session things that you checked off and give yourself an experience point for anyone that you did. I think it'll be fun to hear from you about it. So like Hazel, of the ones you checked, which have you done?
I actually wasn't actively thinking about it as I was going. Unfortunately, sorry.
No, I like it better that way. I don't want you to gear your character's actions toward experience.
Yeah.
points.
I have to get my
Yeah.
dog. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I acted like a woman half my age. That's really young, but Hazel's trying. I don't know if you can give her points for that, but she's trying her best.
I feel at this stage you can get points for it. Like
Okay.
moving forward, you're gonna need to like
Do more.
you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
more, but I think you get an experience point for it.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay.
So the first one is automatically marked.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether we have advanced the story. It's basically default. We advance the story.
So do we always get an experience for that regardless, or what does it
Well,
mean
you
if it's
didn't solve
already?
a mystery. Did the
Yeah,
they
so
didn't
when it's
solve-
already
although
marked,
it is
like, what
set
does that
up for
mean?
you to have a mystery. Not today.
Okay.
Not today. As we go forward, I'm going to say solving pieces of the mystery will count.
Oh, that makes sense.
But not today because the game is afoot.
Okay.
now. Yeah. Anybody else have one that you marked that you either want to ask about or want to let us know that you did? I definitely want to hear the ones that you did.
If I'm doting on someone, sorry.
I might have doted
Yeah, I
on
would-
Melvin.
I would say that I actually doted on Hazel a bit
Yeah.
by giving her the KY.
Yeah. I was actually, if you didn't say that, I was going to
Yeah.
suggest Hazel feels
Yes.
very doted on. You've been very sweet to
Yes.
her.
And
Yeah.
Gwen absolutely was doting on Melvin, like 100%.
Yeah.
Can I do any of mine count?
Yes, you can take
Okay,
experience
good.
points. We're gonna have to transfer we're gonna have.
I think I
some
figured out how to
requisites.
I think I figured out how to get the character sheets to do what we want. So we can talk about it.
All
All
right.
right. Rose,
I think
lady.
that I doted on Hazel when she embarrassed herself
Yes.
in front of a handsome lad.
Yeah.
I think I like very intentionally tried to be like, hey, you did a great job for sure, definitely did a great job. Yes.
I love how many of you checked doted on someone.
Yeah.
Like amazing. All right. Rose, any that you feel like? you wanna-
So I think I doted on Sierra at least. And then like the one that I may be a little unsure of is secretly undermine the authority of a local official. Rose blatantly undermined the authority of a social conventional understanding.
I mean, first of all, absolutely you doted on your granddaughter. And second, like you were moving their shit around and investigating them, like the local official being the Concord people. So absolutely take an experience.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right, we are at 5:30, so I want to make sure that we get to do our outros and everyone gets to move on with their day. So let's just repeat who you are and where people can find you. I'll start because I've got almost nothing to say. I'm Jen. I'm not really on social media. And I will be in a D&D game on Graham Crackers at 4:30 Pacific Tuesday. And that's all. Who else wants it? Let's have Ray. Why don't you jump in? I'm going like my Zoom order.
Sure. Yeah. Hi. I'm Ray. I'm a professional board game person. I work for the company Check Games Edition, who made a game called Codenames. I stream full-time over on their Twitch channel, Check Games Edition, just twitch.tv/Check Games Edition. But if you want to see me drink wine and play really horny dating sims, you can follow my personal channel, which is Ray's Retros. You can find all of it on my Twitter, which has been scrolling underneath my face for the last 2.5 hours. So hopefully you saw it, and if not, too bad. That's where I talk about both my personal shenanigans and my corporate shenanigans.
Awesome. Pablo.
Hi, I'm Pablo. I haven't been doing a lot of public-facing stuff. I haven't done an original tweet that wasn't just retweeting something in quite some time. I got into grad school this week. I'm going to. I
was gonna get you to say something.
So
say it.
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna get an online master's social work. I'm really excited. So that's gonna be the next 2 years of my life. And so you won't see me anymore. I cannot be found. Bye. No, my Twitter is also has been scrolling under my name, but Tender_ideas.
And I better see you, but I'm so excited for you.
No, you will. You fucked up. We're friends.
I know how grad school goes. Evie.
Hi, I'm Evie. I am not doing a whole lot of social media facing things. I'm kind of on hiatus. Eventually, I've got stuff percolating. If you want to find out when those eventually happen, you can follow me at Evie Story on just about everything. I'm just here having a great time right now. I'm very excited for this. So thank you for having me.
Evie is the new addition to this cast that's played before, and what a wonderful addition. So I'm very excited to have you too. And I love Rose with all my heart. All right, Bunz.
Bunz is frozen.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go to Rosy, and then hopefully Bunz will come back.
Hey everybody, I am Rosy or Valdrianth all over the internet. I produce TTRPG content for me and my friends and other things. I have one more session of my Animorphs game on Wednesdays. It won't be this Wednesday. It will be next Wednesday. And on Saturdays, we play Dragon Age over on my channel. And I have another project that I can't tell you about yet, but it's not on my channel. But I'll let you know when I let you know.
We like secrets here.
Will be soon. Mm-hmm.
We like secrets here. Awesome. Bunz, you're back. Yay! Tell us about you and anything that you're doing that you want us to know about.
Oh, I came back right in time. Hi, everybody. I'm a Bunz. And when I'm not being a chaotic little gremlin, you can normally find me also being a chaotic gremlin, but in charge. Normally playing the GM role for Magpie Games and also on Start Playing Games. You can see me on Wednesdays at Phoenix Iwaki's channel where I play Corbin. They're Spore Jesus. They're Spore Jesus. I can't call them anything else now. And if you want to know what that means, you can join me on Wednesdays. We go on at 10:30 Eastern. So it's kind of late.
What a good hook.
It's a good thing. But yeah, Twitter is that's my Twitch. Twitter is Honey Bunz, but you can find me here on Twitch on Battle Scar Bunny. That's it. That's me.
All right, my partner in crime. up until this moment.
I know now I'm blind.
Eva.
Hi, I'm Eva. I am one half of Sword and Key, one of the showrunners of this channel, and I ran production for Monster Hearts, and it is a joy to be a player in this game. Absolutely great group. Thank you all. You can find me on Twitter for now, at least, under the Eva Serrate. I think that's pretty much it. I'm just kind of trying to play catch up with a lot of things. I'm just gonna say real quick, I'm gonna put our channel schedule in the stream chat, and we will be rating Neon Lights roleplay. But other than that, I think Jen, it's you.
Right. I think we have some scheduling stuff with when we're going to come back. Usually it's going to be every other week, but I have tickets to 6 in 2 weeks, so we'll figure out what we're going to do. But we'll announce it on Twitter and everywhere, so you'll know when to see us again and see us recovering from our big moment. It's been wonderful. So thanks, and I hope we have you come again and join us for this wonderful story.